Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to make this flexible smart element which you can use many times, just create once, but use it many times in many projects. Actually, this video is sponsored by Agentstvo Khabar from Kazakhstan. Just last week I conducted a nice 5-day training for them, and the students inspired me to make this video, this idea, how to make a very interesting, flexible element, which can also inspire you to make something for yourself. Just make the template for templates just once, and next just use it many times as you want. And let me show you what is this. It's not just static text, as you can see. Of course, it's animated, but it's also not static in terms of the amount of the data inside these elements. So, for example, there is no controls, and I can change the text right here. As you can see, I can change the amount of the content here, and everything is flexibly. I don't know, is it correct word? Anyway, you see, everything is changed accordingly as it should. And the animation, let me show you. Still working, still just working, because everything is done considering this all possible variants. And what I can change here as well, the text for the top text, and as you can see, no text, no gaps, easy. And okay, and I can do the same. Hey, yes, I can do the same for this text, and of course I can make it multi-line, and it's also working in this case. Okay, and let me just delete all of them. As you can see, no text, no problem. Play animation, everything is fine, is working. Okay, let me get it back. And that, what I can show you as well, and it's also possible, of course, to change the position, the scale, doesn't matter. I can rotate it even, and like that, and it's still working. Maybe not perfect. I need to just refine the animation. But anyway, the main logic here is just we can create the element just once and reuse it many times. For example, if you need some elements in many graphics you are making, and I don't know, in their case, in Kazakhstan, it was like just many designers who are working with WizRT, they just daily based, and they need to create a lot of graphics right into the WizArtist. So it inspired me that why we cannot create something like template for templates. So this idea also can be used not just only for this specific approach and the use case, but also you can use this idea for even for single case, just in order to support many possible variants and representations the same graphics. So let me just change it, and as you can see, everything is working. Like change here, change here. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. So let's do this from scratch, and let's start from, as you can see, from empty space, empty scene, I mean, and let's go. Call the most top element as object, just a tradition. Let's use, let's rename this container like a central part, and this will contain, let's just put here in the text what I want to put in the center. Central text. Okay, and first of all, I need to change the layout orientation. Probably you cannot see because of me. Yeah. You see, we need to use central by horizontal, and of course I need to change the position of the center of the text also to the center by vertical axis. So now it's very convenient because the center is exactly in the center of the text. So if I start, sorry if it's so obvious for you, maybe I don't need to explain it, but yeah, I hope it's pretty obvious. Okay, then we prepared the text itself. Let's add some frame, and I'm going to use for this, the simplest variant is Nogi. Okay, of course I need to change some style to outline, use some thick width for the outline, and for this Nogi I'm going to use the classic plugin. It's text background. Okay, let's put it here. Just it automatically works because the default value, where am I? Yes, hello. So default value here, it's considering the text container as a previous. So as you can see this, we read the scene tree from top to bottom. So for the Nogi, the previous container is the central text. So that's why it's working. The previous take the size from the previous container. Okay, of course I don't like the basic settings, and in design it's also some more spacious design. So let's do something like that, 30 and 30, left and right. Okay, that's fine. Actually, that's already interesting, smart mini template. So you can already use it. Just you see, I can change the text and everything is working. Yeah, that's absolutely fine already. But of course, it's not fair to keep it like that. Just merge it, put it into Graphic Hub. So there is no sense, because it's to recreate this simple set is pretty easy, and it's not needed to remember where you store it. Of course, it's become more valuable when you make some animations. So let's do this. And for this element, let's use the alpha. Yeah, for something like that. Yeah, just from 0 to 100. Okay, and for the border, I will use. Let's take a look. Some gradient. I will use. Let me check from white to. Yep, I will use this one. It's a very good one. And yeah, of course, I will use clamp version of that. And the animation will be just the movement from top to bottom, like from 15. Let's make a key, and to -15. Okay, make a key again. And for this, oh, I didn't make the animation, sorry. Let's do this again. Okay. Rotate it. Okay, seems fine. Now it looks more like a mini template. So now we make some valuable efforts for this, and we don't want to redo this every time. And this very simple element we can store in the Graphic Hub. Oh yeah, by the way, I didn't save it. I didn't save this thing itself. So let's do this here. It will be like a smart title. Let's call it X. Yes. Okay, that's done. And now I can just store this thing to the Graphic Hub. So let's go and let's do this. Merge it and store it as a smart title, just X. Okay, I stored it. that's a wrong notification because it thinks that I'm trying to replace the scene itself, but it's not. Yes, there is no geometry with this name, really. That's fake. Okay, anyway. So now, actually, you can see we have like a empty scene, and at any moment I just can just drop it here. Oh, sorry, it's scenes. I need to geometry. Smart title X. Yeah, just drop it. Yeah, and oops. And as you can see, everything is working. So we can continue work on that. And first of all, the animation is here. That's a very good one. Okay, and you can prepare. You can imagine like you can prepare some basic stuff for your design, for your specific personal approach with animation, with some kind of details, and you can do a very interesting stuff, but prepare it for using in very flexible situations. For now, that's very flexible, and but at the same time, it's not so comprehensive and not so interesting solution. So let's go. Let's make two text elements on the top and on the bottom. For them, I will use. Let's rename it central part. Okay. So this will be the top part. Okay, and here I'm going to use a bit different font face. Let's use something more natural, normal one. Okay, this will be the top text. Of course, for this element, I will also change the orientation to the center, but in this case, I'm going to use specifically from the bottom, vertical alignment from the bottom. Okay. So, and next, what I have to do, I want to move all this group dynamically according the size of the main central part. So I'm going to make auto following, but not just only this text, but the whole group. Okay, I'll use auto follow. And as you can see, it's working wrongly because default axis direction, I mean X, but I need only by Y. And of course I need to reset the X position to 0. That's fine. And as you can see, it seems like fine, but it's still not good because the previous center, it's it's defined as center. That's true, really true, because if I select the central part, you see the pivot point of this element is almost in the center. So that's perfect setting for the previous center. But for the local center, it's wrong one. So as you can see, the pivot point for the text block for this top part should be at the bottom of this element. Of course, it shouldn't be the center. It should be the bottom. And now it should work as it should. Okay, let's check the changing text here. As you can see, everything is working fine as I expect. And if I change the amount of the lines here, that's also working very, very well. Okay, so for this text, I'm going to also, let's change the style itself, and yep, that's nice. Let's reduce the amount of the text, and let's place this text right on the middle of the top line, like that. That's fine. And for this text, we need to prepare like a mask to making a hole, like a gap in this line. So for this, I'm going to make the geometry for this top text. I'm going to use the simplest one, this rectangle. Also, let's put me here, top mask. And in this case, I'm going to use the same thing, like text BG. But of course, I don't need to so much margin from each side. Let's just make some just minimum extra margin for the top and bottom, but for the left and right, I will use something more interesting, like 10 maybe. This will be Interesting. Okay, so for this container, I also, for the top mask, I will also use this target mask. So this rectangle will be the source of the mask. I will use only the first layer, and for the Nogi, for this border, I'm going to use the mask target. And of course, for this mask target, you see we are using also the first layer, and you see this is cutting out this space, this around this text. So now, if I change the text itself, you will see how it works, and it works very, very perfectly. Just by the way, this mask works perfectly by default because all these layers are not inverted by default. So when you are not inverted, masks like a cut off this piece, this specific piece of the picture. When you invert it, you are getting the opposite behavior. You see, when you invert it, this cutted piece will be only visible on the screen. The rest will be removed from the screen. Okay, so we need this behavior. So that's fine, absolutely what I want. And that's perfect. So I can do absolutely the same for the next one, for the third text. Let's just copy it and use a different name, the bottom part. And of course, here will be the same. The bottom mask, of course, as well. But the last thing you see for autofollow, I'm going to use not the other. Just try to avoid everything considering non-relative connections. So for this, it will be just a killer of all these features if you are going to use the other. So please use the relative logics. For example, here for the autofollow, we can use only previous and first. For the previous, it's not possible to use because previous one is the top part. So we cannot just make two containers, top and bottom, to follow the previous. We have to use a bit different logic for this. We have to change to the first. What does it mean first? We are going to go to the first sibling in this level of the nesting of this send tree. So it's like from this we are going to go to the parent container and get the first child of this parent container. Okay, actually for this we can also use this, but okay, even for that, that's fine. The last thing what we have to do here for the bottom part, just invert, make it follow negative. That's fine. And what next? You see this behavior, it's a bit different. That's really strange. So even with the zero default distance, it behaves a bit wrongly because we need to grow this bottom part just from the top pivot point. So for that, I'm going to change the layout of the text. Let me show it to you. Not from the bottom, but from the top. And the last thing, this is the settings of the autofollow, not from the bottom, but from the top. And now, yes, that's exactly what I want. Of course, the last thing what I have to do, to change the default distance, to put it exactly where I want to place it. So like here. And now, this thing is independently working, even with different amount of the text. And of course I need to reduce this amount interlineage. Okay, and for the top as well, -5, I think. So let's check multi-line. Perfect. And the central part, let's change. Oh, nice, I like it. Of course, here I also reduce this, maybe even more. -7. Yeah, like that, or maybe more. Yeah, I like this variant. Okay, so now as you can see, this absolutely flexible thing, but excluding working with the animation. So we have to make more valuable things for these elements to make it more reasonable to make it once and reuse it many times. And for that, what we're going to do, do some animations, because for now we have only this animation, so it's not enough. I would like to make some for now, just for video, just don't make so long video. I'm going to make more primitive animations. For example, let's just for now, let's just simplify our logic. For example, we agreed that the top text and bottom text can have only one line text, one line string here and here. So in this case, actually, I don't need to considering y axis, so I need to consider only x axis, and for this as well. So what gives us it's just amazing thing. Now we can just move up and down this text without any issues with the mask, because the mask still will be absolutely at the same position. And at the same time, by the way, we can still change the text in the middle, and it's still working, even if it's a multi-line text. Okay, what I'm going to do, let's start from the top. I'm going to use this mask not only for the cutting from the border, but also cutting out the outer space for the text. So for this, I'm going to use the second layer. Let's just enable it, and use for the top text mask target, also only second layer. But in this case, I'm going to change from just change invert mask, just from off to on. That's pretty easy. And now I can just take a look. I can move it like that, and it works just magically. Let's do some animations from 30 to 0. And that's fine. I have the perfect animation what I want. Just let's change a bit the style of this animation. Let's move it. Okay. And here we will have like that. Like that, yes. Seems fine. Okay. Whoop. Okay, just let's play a bit with the animations. Okay, central text. Okay, something like that. We can repeat the same thing for the bottom text. Let's use the same set of the masks, because they have enough gap between them, so we can use the same layer of the masks. And of course, I can just copy the animation. I don't need, and shift it like that. Yes, that's absolutely fine. And it's still working as a system, so we can still like change the middle part, and the animation is still working. You see? Now it's worked like just a template inside templates. Okay, so the next step, what we're going to do, let's animate the central part also in this way. So for this, I also need to do some more complex stuff, because here we are considering not only the horizontal size, but also the vertical one. So what I can do for this, I can just make a copy of this text. Just for this scenario, it's only one way how to do this. So let's do the copy. And I'm going to use, by the way, let's just remove this alpha appearing. Okay. So you see these auto follows are working from the, from the first. And now the first element in these siblings are the central text. I don't need it. Let's move it like this. So now the first element is the central part. So now the following, I just restores the default behavior. And as you can see, this specific element, the central text, will be just for the bounding box. So I don't want to animate it at all. I'm going to use this part only for the creating for the border and for the mask itself. So let's add some mask here. It will be like that, and I'm going to use, of course, TextBG. Of course, I have to use the next container to control it. Okay, and let's just reset the size just to make it fit the text as much as just as perfect as possible. And what I can do, also use source mask for that. I'm going to use the third layer here, and for this text will be visible. This text will be just static. Let's rename it static, just for the size. Oops, central text static. So this is only for the size, and this part will be representation of the content. So here we will have like some animations. Let's do this. Before that, of course, we have to make a mask target, and for the target, use third layer. And yeah, this part also should be hidden. Let's use the alpha. Yep. And as you can see, we don't see the text because this mask is not inverted by default. We need to invert it. Nice. And now we can move this text, you see, perfectly. And what we have to do, just let's make some animation. And this animation, in this case, this animation should consider how many lines we are going to have maximum. Let's imagine we can have 3 of them. So let's add some text. And oh my God, we forgot about the synchronization between these two elements. So what we can do, of course, the best choice here, it's using the text link. Let's connect them like that and just mark this container as a main. For me, it will be like, I just decided for myself, just red color. It's like a main content for this element. Okay, so now I can change the text in one place and get the behavior from 2 containers. This one for the size, this one for the animation. And okay, and don't worry about this non-relative connection, because this connection will be saved. How to say? Like it will be. It will work perfectly when you store this element in the graphic wrap, and you can put it again and again in the scene, and these connections, this connection in the text link will be restored completely as it is. So don't forget that in this case, that's fine to use non-relative connections between containers. So that's fine. Okay, and let's make an animation. So I'm considering that I have maximum 3 lines, and in this case, just make the movement from the top like that, and the key again. Second key, and revert them and make it smoother like that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's play it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Fine. Okay, I'm happy with this, and let's test it with the small text actually. Is it looking good? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, more or less, that's fine. At least I have a template in order, if I need to change something just a bit, I can just, explode it in my scene and just refine it as I want. For example, I can, I don't know, apply some texture here. For example, for the Nogi, I can use the texture. Of course, I will use inheritable, and because I already have the picture in the first texture unit, I have to choose here the second kind of layer. And okay, just I will use the scaling to make it perfect. So like that. Yeah, you can just customize it. So let's check the animation. Yeah, you see, that works fine. And the last thing, what I have to do before we make, let's delete this. Before we make a universal template geometry for that, I need to rename this default director. It will be like smart title X. Why I renamed it? Because this specific name will be used when you drop your geometry to your scene. So let's check this out. Okay, I'm selecting all these parts and make a wrapper like that. So let's call it something like that. Save it just in case. And let's make a geometry from that. Oh, whoa. Somehow I forget to put this part here as well. Okay. So central part, top part, yeah. Should be like that. Okay, you see? Now it's much better. Okay, merge it and save it. Okay. Okay, rename, replace, no worry. So let's present how it will work in your place, in your scene. Let's just delete everything. And just imagine that it's your empty scene, or not empty, it doesn't matter. So now I can go to the geometry and took this smart title X and just put it here. Now it's working. I can just place it whenever I want, like here. I can even rotate it. Some fancy stuff. And as you can see, I can play. Let's go to the stage. You can see we can split it. And yeah, by the way, why does it have two directors? Yes, doesn't matter. We can fix this. Let's move out this animation in one director, and now just merge it again and make a, yep. Okay, now it should be fine. Let's go to the stage. So anyway, I can drop many of them, and they will be absolutely independent things. So as you can see, and I also can split them up and change the text. Of course, this is the main idea why we did it, why we did this template. So in these cases, everything will still work the same. And of course, I can change this text. Oops, let me move it to the camera a bit. And now, yeah, that's fine, except maybe this gradient, but as I told you, this was like a customization, maybe premature customization, but it is. So let's just fix it a bit. And now it's working. And now you can use them just at the same place. So let's expand this part as well. And now, as you can see, this is just, let's remove this extra. Now we can, for example, make a director, put all of them under this director. And you can consider these two directors as just a separate animations from two separate mini templates. So now you can use them whenever you want. You can insert it across all your project. So that could be a very efficient way to organize the graphics. Just make it once, use it multiple times. I hope it will be useful for you, and the video itself is just had some entertainment for you as well. So let me know, is it interesting to just figure out how work with the flexible elements in Wizardry to make more smart templates? If you want, I can do more. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.